In this video, we will learn method overloading in depth. As we know, what are overloaded methods, right? What are overloaded methods? Methods having different signature are called overloaded methods, right? So, but that is not enough to know. It is very essential to know, in case of overloaded methods, if we pass the arguments, which method gets called. So this is what we have to know. So let's say I will give you one example. Let's say we have this. Right? So these two are overloaded methods, byte and short arguments they are taking, right? So what if I pass obj.m1 of 2? Can you guess which one gets called? Can you guess? It will give compile time error, right? It is giving compile time error. What it is saying? The method m1 of byte in the type is not applicable to the argument int. So as we know, whenever we declare a number as a constant, it by default the data type of this number is int, right? So byte and short are incompatible with int, right? It cannot typecast it into byte or short. So that's why we are getting the compile time error. And now tell me, let's say I will take int and long versions like this. So can you guess which method will get called? So here we are passing 2. 2 is an int data type, right? So here int can accept the number, long also can accept the number, right? But in case of overloaded methods, in this situation, which method gets called? Right? Can you guess? Let's print out and see. Int version, because it is the exact match. Let's say if I pass a byte data type, so I am converting a number into byte, so now it is becoming byte, right? So which method gets called here? Int or long, because both can hold the byte, right? Int version again. So whenever a lower data type argument, if we pass the immediate match, the immediate data type which is smaller, for example out of int and long, which is smaller data type, int, right? So which will be matched. So this is what the rule. So you know, right, type promotion rules. Let's say if we start with byte can be promoted to auto promoted to short can be automated these two can be auto promoted to int, then long, right? Then this can be auto promoted to float, then this can be auto promoted to double, and char also can be auto promoted to int, right? So the same story here again. Let's say if I try to, in this scenario, if you observe this, I will just comment out here. So if you remember this rule, easily we can answer these kind of questions. So I am passing the byte, right? So this is byte. So if we pass the byte, the methods accepting short, int, long, float, double, all can get called for this method. But if you have the multiple methods having all these arguments, which will be given priority. So here int and long, these two methods are there, but byte can be accepted by these two. So in this case we need to think which one get called, right? So very simple. The immediate one, if it travels from left to right, the immediate one, whatever it is coming in this flow, that will be get called. So here the immediate one is int, right? So that's why int version is getting called. Let's see if I make it this one short. If I take short and int, if I make shorthand int, as per this diagram, as per this flow, I am passing byte, so short method should get called, right? Yes, short version will get called. So we need to remember this diagram. In case of primitive data types, this is how it works. Okay, now these kind of questions interviewers may trick you. Next, one more way they will ask. Let's say object string, object version, string version. Let's say I am passing a string, let's say tiger. Can you guess, can you tell me which method gets called here? So object is, you know, right, it is a supermost class in Java, superclass of all the classes. Every class is a subclass of object by default, either directly or indirectly. So tiger can be accepted by both methods, right? But in this particular scenario, which method gets called? So these are the interview questions getting asked in interviews now. Can you tell me? Can you guess? Yes. So in this one, the most specific one, that means this is an exact match, right? And this is also subclass of this. In these cases, the subclass only gets called. I mean, the method which is taking the argument has subclass which gets called actually. So if you run this, string version is getting called, right? Yes. So this is also very important to know. Whenever we have a parent class and subclass, we have two methods defined. One is taking parent class, one is taking subclass. Then if we pass this argument which is exactly matching with the child class, then this method only gets called. And one more trick question. This is very important. This is actually tricky. Now can you tell me which method gets called here? Both can take arguments, right? So here also, whenever a parent and child are there, the child is given priority. This is very much important to know. Again, string version will get called. So these are the questions are getting asked in interviews. Now one more, it will be interesting. Integer version, int version, and I will pass a number 1. Can you tell me which one get called here? Again the same, it may accept one also. It will be auto boxed, right? Auto boxing, auto unboxing, you know, right? So but when we have an exact match, basically it is an int data type, primitive value, right? It will match again with this one only. So we will have the int version. So this is also one tricky question is getting asked. One more interesting. You know Verax. String dot version, string version. So if I pass a string value, now can you guess which method gets called? Because it will also take any number of parameters, 1, 2, 3, any number of arguments it will take, and it will take only one argument. So now I am passing one argument. Which method gets called? Again the same, it will be given priority as this one only, the exact match, string version. So this awareness we should have. When I was 3 years of experience, without this knowledge I went into one interview, I was failed. So just knowing what is method overloading is not enough. Definitely we need to learn these kind of tricky questions. So this will give in-depth knowledge on method overloading. So thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe and comment. Thank you.